والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة يا غريب مظلوم كربلاء ما خاب من تمسك بكم وأمنا من لجأ إليكم يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز فوزا عظيما لم أنس زينب بعد الخدر حاسرة تبدي النياحة ألحانا فألحانا يا مسجورة القلب إلا أن أدمعها يا كالمعصرات تصب الدمع عقيانا. The poem says, I will never forget the sight of Zainab on a night like this where she is all alone. All the men except Zain al-Abidin have been killed. She is left with the women and the children. She's broken-hearted. She's crying. She's calling for someone to help her. Who is she calling? تدعو أباها أمير المؤمنين. She turns to Kufa. She turns to Najaf to ask help from Amir al-Mu'mineen, the one who used to help the orphans and the children, the one who protected the rights of everyone. Today it's his children, his own family members that are being oppressed. Ya walidi, oh my father, حكمت فينا رعايانا وغاب عنا المحامي والكفيل. Oh my father, Amir al-Mu'mineen, today we are being ruled by the ones who we used to rule. And there is no muhami, there is no one to protect us. There is no Aba al-Fadl al-Abbas anymore. There is no Imam al-Hussein anymore. قم يا علي قم. Oh, help us, oh Ali ibn Abi Talib. قم يا علي فما هذا القعود وما عهدي تغض عن الأفداء أجفانا. عجل لعلك من أسر أضر بنا تفكنا أو تولى دفن قتلانا. يا Ali ibn Abi Talib, we are in chains now. We have become prisoners now of Bani Umayyah. Come and open these chains and come and bury these ones. Come and bury your son Hussein. Bury your Ahl al-Bayt who are left all alone without being buried. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Brothers and sisters, on a day like this is the day that Rasulullah cries for. This is the day that the Ahl al-Bayt cry for. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says to Imam al-Hussein, La yawmaka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. There is no day, there is no tragedy like yours, O Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. Imam al-Rida, he says in a hadith, إن يوم الحسين أقرح جفوننا. The day of Hussein is the day that our eyes began to bleed from crying. We cried so much until we injured our eyes. Oh, Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. Night like this is a night of sadness, a night of mourning, a night of aza for the Ahl al-Bayt alayhum as-salam. After killing Imam al-Hussein, Umar ibn Sa'd, he ordered his soldiers, he says, I need 10 men to stomp the chest of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. 10 horsemen, they came and they began stomping the body of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. They began attacking Imam al-Hussein. Some would take his clothes off. They went to attack the tent of Aba Abdullah to steal whatever they can take from the Ahl al-Bayt, as if they are non-Muslims. A man, he comes to Imam al-Hussein, he sees that Aba Abdullah is wearing a ring. He has a ring on. He comes, he tries to take off the ring. He sees that it doesn't come off. So he takes his dagger and he cuts off the finger of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. After doing this, Umar ibn Sa'd, he calls out, he says, أحرقوا بيوت الظالمين. Burn the homes of the oppressors, burn the tents of the oppressors. They brought the fire and they began burning the tents that the women and children were in. They began running, the children, they are running to stay away from the fire. Sayyida Zainab, she's sitting next to Imam Zain al-Abidin, taking care of him. He was sick. She tells him, oh my dear nephew, what should we do? He tells her, alaykunna bil firar. The only thing that I can tell you to do is run right now. Run for your life. They began running in the battlefield, the women and the children. Some of them, their clothes were on fire. Hamid ibn Muslim, one of the narrators who was on the enemy's side, he narrates many of the events that took place on Ashura and after Ashura. He says, I saw a woman, she kept going into a tent while the tent was burning. I came to her, I told her, why are you going in the tent? The tent is on fire. She told me, I have a sick man in the tent, I have to go and save his life. One of the daughters of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, an enemy, he began to chase after her. She was wearing an earring. He snatched the earring off of her ear and ripped her ear. Her ears began bleeding. She tells him, oh man, why did you do this? Because he began crying once he saw her crying. He tells her, if I don't do it, someone else will come and steal this earring. Even the enemies of the Ahlul Bayt, they would cry and they would do things and then they would cry for the Ahlul Bayt alayhum as-salam. Another daughter, one of the daughters of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, by the name of Fatima, a man, he began chasing her and running after her, and then he hit her with the bottom of his sword. She fell on the ground. Once she woke up, she lost consciousness. Once she woke up, she did not ask for water. She did not cry. She did not say, the man hit me. She said, oh Sayyidah Zainab, oh my dear aunt, I need a hijab to cover myself with. These are the events that took place on the day of Ashura after the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein. Hamid ibn Muslim, he says, I saw one of the daughters of Imam al-Hussein. The fire had caught onto her clothes, so I began to chase after her so that I can turn off the fire. But she was afraid. She kept running, and I would keep running after her, and she would keep running. Eventually, I told her, I just want to turn off the fire. I want to extinguish the fire. He says, I extinguished the fire. And then this little girl, she did not have a tent to go back to cover up from the sun. He says, I saw her, she went under the belly of the horse to stand in the shade over there, because the ground was so hot on that day. She would raise one foot and place one foot on the ground because of the heat on that day. She tells him, oh Shaykh, can I tell you something? Can I ask you something? He tells her, yes, what do you want? She tells me, oh Shaykh, have you recited the Quran? He tells her, yes, what do you want with the Quran? She tells him, have you read the verse, وَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ? Do not hurt the yatim, do not hurt the orphan, because I have just become a yatim. Hamid ibn Muslim, he says, after they killed Imam al-Hussein, they brought water to these children and they brought water to the woman. But these kids, they were so thirsty an hour before. Now no one goes near the water. No one goes and no one dares to drink because they just witnessed their whole family die out of thirst. He said, I gave this girl some water. She held the water. She did not drink immediately, even though she was so thirsty. She tells me, oh Shaykh, oh man, I have something to ask you. He tells her, what? She says, my father, when he was leaving, the last time I saw him, I saw his lips, they were dry. His lips, he seemed very thirsty. I want to ask you, did they give him water? Did they give him water before killing him? He tells her, no, they killed him thirsty. She drops the water on the ground that she does not drink. These are the events that took place on a day like this, and the masa'ib that took place after the death of Imam al-Hussein are worse than the masa'ib that took place before. Abu Hamza al-Thumali, he asks Imam Zain al-Abidin, he tells him, why do you cry so much? It's been many years, you keep crying. Every time you see water, you cry. Every time you see food, you cry. He tells him, the worst musibah, the worst aza was that the women of Rasulullah and the children of Rasulullah were taken as prisoners. On a day like this, after killing Imam al-Hussein and his holy household, Umar ibn Sa'd, he ordered for 2 heads to be taken to Kufa immediately. One was the head of Imam al-Hussein, and the second was the head of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, being the general and the commander of the army of Imam al-Hussein. One man, they would fight over the heads. One man, he took the head of Imam al-Hussein by the name of Khawli. He arrives to Kufa very late, and he knocks on the door of Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad. He sees that everyone is sleeping. So he goes and he takes the head to his home. He takes the head to his house. His wife, she sees that he's brought something with him. She tells him, "What have you brought? Where did you go?" He tells her, I brought you the best reward and the best thing that anyone can bring his family. She goes and she looks. She sees that he brought the head of Imam al-Hussein, the son of Fatima, the grandson of Rasulullah. She tells him, "You consider this the best gift? I cannot live with you anymore." He places the head of Imam al-Hussein in a tannoor, in an oven, something that they used to cook bread in. He places the head. The wife, she says that in the middle of the night, I saw light coming down to the head. I see light from the head, it's going to the sky, a light. She says, I went and I saw a scene in front of me. I see a carriage come down. I see the first one who came out of this carriage was Rasulullah. He's crying. He says, Hussein, waladi, qataluk. Oh my dear son Hussein, they butchered you. And then after him comes Amir al-Mu'mineen. He's crying, Bunay, oh my dear son Hussein, the Bahuk, they slaughtered you. And after them I saw Fatima al-Zahra, alayha salam. Bunay, waladi, habibi, qurrata ayni, the Bahuk, ومن شرب الماء منعوك. They butchered you, they killed you, and they did not give you a drop of water. This is Fatima al-Zahra crying for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Rasulullah and Amir al-Mu'mineen, this is what they do. This is how their state is right now, crying for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Another event that took place on a day like this back in Karbala, once it had become nighttime, Sukaina, she goes out before night. She goes out and she's looking. She sees Sayyida Zainab standing next to a body. She tells her, oh my dear aunt, whose body is this? She cannot even recognize the body of her father anymore. There's no head, there's no clothes, there's nothing that would distinguish him. She tells her, this is the body of your father, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Sukaina begins crying. She begins mourning over the body of her father, Imam al-Hussein. Another event that took place on a day like this, on a night like this, is that Sayyida Zainab, she took the full responsibility. Now she took the responsibility to take care of the women and the children and the orphans. She would gather all of the women and all of the children in a tent that was half burnt. She gathers them, she's counting them one by one to make sure that no one is lost, no one is gone, no one's going to be attacked by the enemies. She counts all of them, but there is one person missing, one lady missing. She sees that Rabab, the wife of Imam al-Hussein, is not around. They go out, her and Kulthum, they go, they see, where's Rabab? Rabab, where are you? There were guards outside the tent. They tell them, we saw a woman, she went towards the bodies. She went towards the bodies of Imam al-Hussein and his companions. So they go in the darkness. They hear a crying of a woman saying, oh my dear baby, oh my son, they butchered you without giving you anything to drink. They see Rabab holding Abdullah al-Radhi, holding Ali al-Asghar in her hand. telling him, "Oh my dear son, they did not give you milk. You died thirsty, you were killed thirsty, now the milk has come back to me." Sayyidah Zainab, she tells her, "Oh Rabab, what are you doing here? It's dangerous here." She tells them, "I did not have a drop of milk to give my son, but now that they gave us the water, I feel the milk back into my body. I feel the milk, it's in my breast, and now I want to give it to my son." These are the events that took place on the day of Ashura. Sayyidah Zainab, she goes to the body of Imam al-Hussein. She sees the body, the mutilated body of Imam al-Hussein, which every bone in the body of Imam al-Hussein was broken. She goes and she stands over the grave. She sits next to the body of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and she sees the body. She begins calling Rasulullah and Amir al-Mu'mineen and Fatima wa Muhammadah wa Aliyah wa Jaddah wa Muhammadah صلت عليك مليك السماء هذا حسينك مرمل بالدماء مقطع الأعضاء وبناتك سبايا وإلى الله المشتكى وإلى محمد المصطفى وإلى علي المرتضى وإلى حمزة سيد الشهداء. She says, "Oh Rasulullah, this is your grandson Hussein, the one who you used to hold him, the one who used to kiss him, the one who used to kiss his neck and his mouth. This is what I see him right now." And then she places her hands under the body of Imam al-Hussein, and she lifts the body off the ground, and she says, "Allahumma taqabbal hadha al-qurban min ali Muhammad." Oh Allah, accept the sacrifice from the household of Rasulullah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-ali al-azim.
Gabra